Congratulations, today is the 11th of April and we have collected the 5 most interesting events that took place on this day in history. On April 11th, in 217, Macrinus became the Roman emperor. Macrin faced many challenges during his short rule, including military uprisings and economic problems. One of his most significant decisions was the conclusion of a peace treaty with the Parthian Empire, which ended decades of conflict between the two states. However, Macrin's reign was marked by controversy and conflict, especially with the army. It ultimately led to his downfall, as the ruler of Syria, Heliogabalus, proclaimed himself emperor and gained the support of many armies. Macrinus and his son were defeated in battle and executed in 218, ending his brief reign as Roman emperor. His reign is generally considered a period of decline and instability for the Roman Empire, paving the way for the chaotic events of the crisis of the 3rd century. The Treaty of Utrecht, signed on April 11, 1713, ended the War of the Spanish Succession. The treaty was concluded between France, on the one hand, and the maritime powers of Great Britain and the Netherlands, as well as Savoy, Portugal, and Prussia, on the other. The agreement recognized Philip as King of Spain, but prohibited the unification of France and Spain under one ruler. The treaty had far-reaching consequences for Europe and the world. This marked the rise of Great Britain as a major colonial power as it gained control of Gibraltar and several valuable colonies. It also helped establish the balance of power in Europe, where no one country could dominate the continent. The Treaty of Utrecht is considered one of the most important treaties in the history of Europe. This established a new balance of power on the continent. The Spanish-American War began when the United States intervened in Cuba's struggle for independence from Spain. A treaty ending the war was signed on December 10, 1898, and Spain transferred control of Cuba, Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines to the United States. The treaty was controversial in the United States, as many Americans opposed the idea of annexing the Philippines and Guam as colonial territories. The treaty entered into force on April 11, 1899, when Spain officially relinquished control of the ceded territories. The treaty marked the beginning of the emergence of the United States as a world power and its expansion into overseas territories. It also had significant consequences for Spain's former colonies, many of which struggled with the legacy of colonialism in the years that followed. On April 11, 1909, a group of many Jewish families gathered on the sand dunes near the ancient port city of Jaffa to found a new settlement called Tel Aviv. It was organized by a group of Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe known as the Ahuzat Beit Association, who pooled their resources to buy land from the Bedouin clans that lived in the area. The new settlement was to become a modern Jewish city with streets, squares, and buildings built in the European style. The name Tel Aviv means Hill of Spring in Hebrew and was chosen to reflect the hope and renewal the settlers hoped to bring to the land. Tel Aviv grew rapidly over the next few years. Today, Tel Aviv is the second largest city in Israel, known for its vibrant art and culture, modern architecture, and beautiful Mediterranean beaches. Once Scottish students from the University of Glasgow decided to do something daring. They broke into Westminster Abbey and stole the Skunk stone, also known as the Stone of Destiny in the Coronation Stone. A sacred relic of Scotland, which was stolen by the English King Edward in 1296 and placed under the seat of his wooden throne. But the students did not want to turn a symbolic kidnapping into a banal theft. On April 11, 1951, they anonymously returned the stone to the ruins of Arbroath Abbey. They reported the location of the stone to the police, and authorities returned it to Westminster Abbey, where it was once again placed at the base of the coronation throne. In 1996, the British government finally decided to transfer the Skunk stone to Scotland. The stone remains a symbol of Scotland's rich history and heritage. Thanks for watching, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. If you want to send thanks to the authors and finance the development of the channel, there are also links to several possible options for this in the description. Goodbye, keep yourselves.